Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today, we are covering No One Will Save You. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. So I am not drinking any particular brand. I'm going rogue. And I'm drinking, I consider it tea, like lemon tea, but it's hot water with like lemon juice and honey. But I did...
it's technically an infusion, but okay.
You know, but I am drinking peppermint creamed honey from a local hive place. Yeah, this is the shit. And when I say peppermint creamed honey, it is peppermint. It just slaps you in the face. So I'm using it because we live streamed last night and my throat is still recovering. So this is a perfect recovery drink. Not just lemon and honey, but lemon honey that it's infused with peppermint. Winning combo. But anyways, what are you drinking?
Lots of screams, lots of laughs.
Yeah, lots of screams, lots of laughs, lots of coughing because of all the screaming and laughs.
I did not go rogue. I am drinking Republic of Tea's Super Green Tea Brain Boost. And it has... If I can find... I guess it's just that. Okay.
Yeah, it's just
organic green tea, organic ginkgo, organic Japanese green tea with matcha, organic ginkgo powder, and organic natural flavor and other natural flavors.
Very descriptive.
It contains tree nuts as well, though. Just
FYI.
So you know. It's ginkgo is tree nuts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what it says.
Oh, Yep. Interesting. I do have to show off my, I don't think I've showed this off yet, but I got a mug from Amazon. I was going to get this for when me and V did our Gay Pride Month stream, but it wouldn't have come in time, so that's why I got the Oh Dear I'm Queer mug. But I've been wanting this mug for so long, I finally got it. It says LGBT, and it's a little tea bag. Yeah. Anyways.
I'm just using my...
Insulated.
Yeah, insulated. Don't mess with Mamasaurus. You'll get your ass kicked.
So perfect.
Yes.
Yep. But thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and then we hope you enjoy the review. And you'll be so proud of me. I wrote a summary for all the recordings that we're doing today.
Yay!
Yay.
So proud.
Yeah,
Good
I
job.
Actually prepared.
Good job.
Kind of.
So proud.
Yes. Yeah, so for the summary.
That is actually a good feat because we only gave ourselves a week this time before the recording session. 8
movies, 1 week. And normally... when we do it, we think of the summary like right before we record. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So, very proud.
We're professionals. A young woman who is outcasted from her small town finds herself fighting for her life from an alien invasion. The invasion has some twists and turns along the way. You totally thought I did a little eyebrow thing. I'm like, Anyways. For entertainment. So I will just say the disclaimer. I'm not a huge alien person. Like, I've never really found aliens scary. But this movie actually does a pretty good job with making it seem more like a horror movie than an action movie. So I actually rate this a 7.5. It's not like, because it's an alien movie and the subject around the movie itself, it's not like, oh yeah, I want to watch this all the time. But whenever I do watch it, I really enjoy it. I like that, like, you find out why she was outcasted, and I like the slow reveal of it. And the alien design, even though like the whole head and stuff, that's more typical. I like the fingers and the tendrils and stuff like that. That is an interesting design. And then the fact that they have like the twist of, oh, the aliens that you're seeing aren't the actual aliens are invading. They're actually like have a parasite that are trying to take over the people in the town. And the world.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to tell if it was a parasite or if it was like that was the actual alien, and what we were seeing normally was more of kind of a meat suit, quote unquote.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I kind of considered like the alien that we see as like a host, and then the thing coming up is like the actual like alien.
It was a little vague.
Yeah, so. Honestly, it made me kind of think of it's the Stephenie Meyer alien
Host.
What Host? It kind of reminded me of Host in a way, because it almost, at least what I interpreted from it, is as like, okay, if they truly are parasites and they took over this one alien race and then they're coming to Earth for another, it's like maybe they're like transferring hosts either to like try, like almost like as a evolutionary thing, like to try and find the best host. I don't know. But I thought that was really interesting though, because it was just like, it started off one way and then it twisted it, but that twist actually made it even more interesting rather than it actually taking away from the movie. And I love the ending of the movie, how like the aliens are like, oh, this poor girl, she's been through so much. Well, we'll go ahead and make her life wonderful.
It's not quite what I got from it.
Well, not quite, but it's like, it's the town that's now like taken over by the aliens, and she's like interacting with them and actually like, quote unquote, accepted by them, in a lot of ways. And then the horror element, so good, like the tension, like, and she's smart, like that's what helps the tension so much in this movie, is she's actually making really like reasonable, smart decisions for the most part. But even with her doing that, they're still finding a way to like, still like come after her. So yeah, pretty solid alien movie for sure. And pretty solid, like, intense, like, horror movie, too. So, yep.
So, I give it a 7.25. I definitely did enjoy this movie, and you're right. A lot of alien movies do seem more action-type movies than horror movies. This one actually does have more of a horror feel to it. It is definitely a creature feature.
Yeah, and it's like, it's this movie that I'm like, okay, I can understand why people might be scared of aliens, but it's like aliens in general for me, I'm like,
I think it's more a fear of the unknown that
like,
gets people in most
they don't know if they're good,
movies.
bad, and what they want.
And what level of their technology is, and they're just so different.
Yeah.
And that scares a lot of people.
Yeah, or it's like they're different, but then they're also like humanoid enough, so it's like trying to see like, are they more like human where they have like compassion, stuff like that, or are they more like a creature where they just want to...
And it does depend on the movie too, because some are like not human at all.
Yeah, like so... Independence Day, where it's like just tentacles, and I forgot what it actually looks like.
Yeah, it's more humanoid.
It is more humanoid?
Bit, yeah.
Okay. I just remember a bunch of tentacles.
It's been a while for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been like over 10 years. I don't really like that. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of alien movies.
That one's a classic. I don't know.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that's a good movie.
I don't even know you. Whatever, to each his own. But this movie in particular, let's get back on track, shall we?
Yes.
This movie, I loved how varied the aliens were.
Yeah.
There were some that were super short, but had like daggers on their hands, basically. Their claws were ridiculous. There was another one that was super long-limbed and almost spider-like. That was really freaking creepy.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that one.
Yeah. And the way that a lot of them move is just, I think that really lends a lot to the horror aspect.
Yes.
Of just the almost crunching of bones when they move and how they're able to just turn the different joints around completely and all. It's just, that was interesting.
Yeah.
There's obvious intelligence when you look at them, whether it's them or the squiggly parasite thing in their throat. Either way, there's some kind of intelligence behind it. And while she does make a lot of smart moves, not all of them are smart, but she does enough to where it's not
For the most
completely annoying and obnoxious.
Yes.
And the fact that she makes a lot of smart moves lends credit to the intelligence of the aliens and how they keep going around her stuff. And they're really well matched.
Yes.
So she does down a couple of them.
Yeah.
And
She definitely gives it her all.
Definitely. And I feel like I didn't interpret the ending as, well, we're gonna make your life better. It's more of a, you're interesting and different from all of the other humans we've taken over. I kind of want to see where this goes. They're kind of just like leaving her be to observe her a little better. But because they're not openly shunning her like the people in the town were before, they're able to observe her closer and she's able to actually interact.
Yeah, but it's like from the beginning of the movie to the end, it does end on a weirdly
It's
happier
very weird.
No, because she's dancing and
It's
she's
kind
like,
of a WTF ending.
yeah. I mean, it's a little bit trippy of a movie.
A little bit, yeah.
They play into the whole like weird alien
For
stuff.
sure. There is a lot of movies got a movie in this, especially how she tries to get away from the things, particularly outside.
Yeah.
And we'll get to a lot of those in the realism. But little moments like that did kind of bring me out of the experience a little bit. So I did take off a little bit for that. There were a couple of things, like she makes a lot of good decisions, but there are some bad ones that really just take you out of the experience and make you question a lot of the things. And again, a lot of them are movies got a movie moments. They're there for the plot and for tension and everything, but it makes you wonder why. Like, there are other choices that could have been made that would have been better. Overall.
Better.
Yeah, do better. Like, this movie, it's such an odd one because it has great potential, but, I mean, it doesn't quite fail, but it doesn't quite succeed either. It's kind of a middle of the pack, what the hell did I just watch kind of movie, especially on the first viewing.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like they win over the aliens.
Yeah.
But it's not like the main character really loses, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an odd one. So, but that's what I've got for entertainment. Most of what I have, as per usual, is for realism, so...
Which will be interesting to hear, because it's like, maybe, I know I'm not as in tune to that stuff as you are, so, but it's like, I didn't really see, I mean, I saw, like, parts here and there, but there wasn't a lot I picked up on.
Question everything. All the things.
Well, we'll see.
I'm sorry.
We'll see if I stick with my rating then, but for realism, I rated it a 3.
That's not bad.
So the first is the fact that the town is like ostracizing her. I will say the fact that had been so long in between like her accidentally killing her friend versus like her being an adult, I feel like the level of ostracization and hate was still a little bit like it's like too fresh. But I don't know. It's like, you know, not only did the mom seem extremely like grudgeful, but if it's a small town, they're probably talking a lot of shit about her. Which is kind of like perpetuating the hate. Mm-hmm. So it's like one of those things where it's like, from my perspective, I'm like, wow, that's like really over the top. But I can see in some circumstances with the right people that's still happening. So that one is on the more realistic side. And I did like the fact, and maybe this is more entertainment, but I like the fact that when she encounters the aliens the first time, she does go into town to go to the police, and they show like how she's treated, and that's kind of establishes, okay, she can't get help from anyone. She has to do this on her own. So I think that was a great setup to show and validate this is why she has to be on her own. And like, I will say the biggest thing that I noticed that was like stuck out like a sore thumb is like the flickering electricity. Fine. But then the moving of objects too, like power and mechanical movement are not the same thing. Because it's like the lights would be flashing in the fridge, but then the doors would be open. It's like, why? It's like that drama, like that definitely felt like a movie's got a movie, and rather than any sort of like alien lore that they were establishing.
Yeah, I know they had telekinesis, but yeah. They still have to stay in that lane.
Yeah. So I guess there's like some slight inconsistencies with like abilities of the aliens and stuff like that. But then the only other thing that stuck out to me is when she's on the stairs, and this is like the first time I think she comes across the aliens. She's going up the stairs, and then the stairs creak, and then that's when it kind of like stops. She's lived in that house.
Yes.
Her whole life.
Thank you.
I mean, the only justification I could see is like, okay, maybe the adrenaline is running like so.
She's kind of in shock and a panic.
Yeah, that's the only justification. But besides that, like, she would have known not to step in that spot. Yeah. Like, that also felt like a movie's got a movie
a little bit, yeah.
moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was for tension.
Yeah. But as far as like the mechanics of the alien, like the parasite and stuff, is like, while otherworldly and not, it's like we have somewhat similar parasites in our world.
Not near that big, thankfully.
Well, not near that big, and not that extent of like, I don't know. It's like the parasites in our world work slightly different, but I have heard of parasites that, well, I mean, it's like, well, I mean, rabies isn't a parasite, but like rabies, like you want to like, it has it to where it has you try and pass it over to another host. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's true of most bacteria and viruses and things. They want to perpetuate themselves.
Yeah. And then there's that parasite that like takes over like the fish tongue. Yeah. And then I know there's another parasite, I think it's among like rats, where it kind of like almost takes over their mind, and like they like don't act right, but it's like the parasite's like controlling them, or it like turns off a certain part of their brain. I think there's even a parasite that goes into ants too that does like something similar. But anyways, it's in the realm of possibility is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's what I got.
3's not bad. I give it a 2 personally, but I feel like the aliens are a little more varied than they should be, and that's why I wondered if maybe they were more meat suits. like,
yeah, because they didn't seem like they were
mech
from the
suits.
same species.
Yeah, but they were similar enough that they should have been. So that's why I was wondering. And then when they get on the ship, there was a whole bunch that looked exactly the same.
I wonder if it's almost like life cycles. Like as they go through different life cycles, their form changes.
Maybe.
Kind of like butterflies.
Maybe. But I don't know. It didn't make too much sense there. I was wondering why she hadn't moved. With that level of negativity and hatred and ostracism, like,
Yeah.
is she not allowed to move? Was she on parole? If you're getting harassing phone calls and the police and everyone else in the town hate you, why not leave?
Yeah, I felt like a lot of it was almost out of, well, not out of spite, but I felt like she was staying there because it's like, oh, this is my home. And just kind of like getting by
Like
the way she could.
stubbornness?
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's hard to, I mean, especially since that's her childhood home.
Yeah.
It's hard to like get up and leave, especially when you're from a small town. You can't just find another small town. Like typically you'd have to move to a city. And not everybody likes the city.
Yeah. But there were other options still.
Yes, yeah. And it's like the movie didn't establish if she tried those other options or like what happened. But I also she was close to her mother's grave. She was close to her friend's grave. I feel like she is almost like stuck with moving on because she even notes that she like hasn't forgiven herself. So it's almost like she is in like emotional limbo. Like she needed to be able to let go of what happened in order to maybe be able to move out. Who knows?
Yeah, it just seemed a little... It seemed definitely like a movie's got a movie moment.
Yeah, it's like I could see some reasons, but they never established that.
Yeah. So, speaking of movies got a movie moments, the scenes where she's trying to get away from them, especially outside, when she like stops and looks back behind her and stands there for a little while. Why aren't you still going?
I hate that shit.
Yes. And when she sees her body double, when they make a copy of her, and she walks towards it.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely not. This character has been fairly smart up to that point.
Yeah.
That seemed completely out of character.
Yeah, it's definitely towards the end of the movie that she got a bit dumber.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like she didn't quite try hard enough to tell the police what was going on. I know she had her reservations because the father of her friend that she accidentally killed was the chief of police, but she had a dead alien in her house. She could have taken any bit of the alien with her. Personally, morbid as it would be, I'd be bringing a head. Because if that doesn't get their attention, nothing will.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Fair.
Just saying. So, I mean, otherwise, if you go in there with no proof whatsoever, she's going to sound like a nutcase even if they didn't ostracize her and shun her. So, maybe bring some evidence with you when you go to the police asking for help with an alien problem.
I've got an alien problem.
Just saying. Got a little problem with aliens,
Got a little alien invasion in my home.
Just, they're messing up my lawn and they're opening my door when I know I locked it and knocking over my trash cans and crawling over my bed and out my window. They messed up my little figurine town.
That was sad.
That was sad.
That was mean.
Not cool, man. Not cool. If nothing in the house was working, why did she assume the car would? There was basically like an e-impulse.
That's fair.
Like the phone lines weren't working. There was no power in the house. Nothing was working. Why would she assume the car would be?
I mean, maybe it's just like a just in case thing. Like, it did take a valuable time, but at the same time, if the car had worked, it would have saved her a lot of time to be able to get away.
I guess, but get away to where? There was nothing going on at the time. She wasn't actively running. This was after the alien was already dead.
Yeah. Fair.
There were a bunch of little moments with the aliens, too, that just didn't make sense. And the beams. I have questions about the beams. So many questions about the beams.
The beams was actually a little bit funny.
I mean, they were kind of cool, but at the same time, why would they work on everything except the aliens themselves?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to make a beam to basically increase gravity tenfold or more, why would it not work on anything that went into that beam, period?
Yeah.
And why would it only act on the objects in that beam and not walls?
I will say when the one guy that was overtaken by an alien like got stopped when the beam came down, like this is why I don't find alien movies scary. Like that was hilarious. I was laughing. Like the sudden like stop, that's not creepy. That's not scary. That's silly.
A little bit. I think that was more the effects that they used though, and the sound effects too.
Yeah, I will say though, like the CG, the CG, and then not, I mean, they show more of the aliens later on, but it's like at the beginning it looks really creepy because it's like you don't really have enough information.
Yes. Yeah. So those were the main things that you had not said as well. So that's what I got. It's a lot of the movies kind of movie moments for me.
Yeah. I mean, like, overall, it is, like, an interesting alien movie. And at least, from my personal opinion, as one who does not typically like alien movies, this is, like, one of the better ones, if not one... well, I wouldn't say the best, but it's one of the better ones out there. Because it's, like, yeah, it's a little bit trippy, but it's still, you can kind of like collectively see, because you can see, oh, she's doing like flashbacks of memories, and then it's like alien. Like there's some alien movies that like go way too deep into like the weirdness, and then you have no cohesion of what's going on in the movie.
I did wish that they had fleshed out her storyline just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there were just so many questions that there were certain things that just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a fairly decent movie and very entertaining, if nothing else.
Yep.
So.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you for joining us today, and let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our Linktree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea available. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. You can find all of the sites mentioned linked below. But until next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy.
Bye!